Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again. Welcome to the 5th annual NASCAR Platinum Cup Series Daytona Beach 500 live on NASCAR Heat 5 on the PlayStation 4 console, and we are getting set for what is going to be a star-studded, a full field of talented drivers set to take the green flag here this evening at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the NASCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. 40 drivers. It is a full house here, and we're going to see who walks away making history, parking it in victory lane to win the 5th annual NASCAR Platinum Cup Series Daytona 500. And folks, many of the greats have participated in this event before. 28 drivers entered the inaugural Daytona Beach 500. Nathan Scott in the 2 Ford Mustang parking it in victory lane. That was back on NASCAR Heat 3. And now, folks, fast forward all the way to NASCAR Heat 5, 5 years in the making, 5 years of history, and here we are to make even more. It's going to be an 80-lap race, and folks, everybody knows this track, everybody knows the deal here. It's all about the draft, all about decision-making. The faster line of cars is going to prevail. These 31-degree banked turns provide for some high-speed 3 and 4 wide action, and they've made for some amazing finishes and memories over the years in NASCAR racing. And tonight we're looking to add to that legacy a little bit more and crown a 5th annual Platinum Cup Daytona Beach 500 winner. And we're going to go for a lap around the racetrack here in the number 24 Chevy Camaro, Jeff Gordon paint job. And folks, I am going to be rescued.
Hammer down.
You can see the darker groove down at the bottom, and a lot of these drivers are going to try to get down to the bottom as quick as they can. It's going to get the better launch typically on the start and the restarts. Hawkins will be on tonight for tonight's 40-car field. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be wild. So expect restarts and expect chaos if all of these drivers try to come down pit road to make scheduled green flag pit stops. At the same time, we've seen chaos and calamity as these cars try to dive bomb and enter pit road without losing as much time as possible. And as you can see, here we go. We are still not even quite fully up to speed at this point. It really does take about a full lap to get the full speed that you would get out of your Cup Series car here on NASCAR Heat 5 at these super speedways. It's really right about here when you're going to come off of turn 2. As long as you don't hit the apron like I just did, you should be able to reach max speed for a solo car run by about this point. And from here, you would try to enter through 3 and 4 as smooth as possible, and maybe even as low down to the yellow line as possible without making contact with the apron, to try to carry as much speed as you possibly can out of the corner to set up for your second lap in your qualifying run. But folks, it's going to be very, very different for tonight's event. It's going to be 40 cars out there. It's going to be all about the draft. You're going to want to try to find friends where you can and make moves to get to the front. And keep in mind, it's a lot of laps. Expect some drivers to go to the rear and maybe take it easy and ride around and draft in a second group of cars to try to miss any chaos that should unfold up front. Any drivers who get involved in an incident in that lead group more than likely are going to lose the draft with the lead group and ultimately might have damage, which may result in them having to come to pit road. And now the next time by, we are going to try our best to come down pit road without losing control of this race car and without getting a black flag. These drivers will have a heck of a time getting these cars loaded up down to 55 miles per hour entering pit road for a green flag pit stop. And we do have, well, we shouldn't say we do have, we should expect a green flag pit stop in the final stage if we go green for a long period of time. The final stage is a long enough stage to the point where these drivers will require fuel, but maybe not necessarily tires. It's another thing we're going to have to watch for. Strategy is going to be a key factor in who wins today's race. And now here we go. Right about here, you would maybe want to downshift. See, I'm trying to take it a little bit easy. I would rather take it a little easy and enter pit road maybe 4 or 5 miles an hour under instead of risking it and perhaps getting a pit road speeding penalty. That'll kick you out of the lead pack in a hurry and ultimately might have you lose the draft with your competitors once the cycle of pit stops is complete. Folks, it is that time. We are going to send invites to the 40 drivers who are entering tonight's 5th annual NASCAR Platinum Cup Series Daytona Beach 500 here on NASCAR Heat 5. We're going to bring them in for qualifying. It's going to be a short event. You will see me on your screen. I'll be definitely trying to keep my car out of everybody's way while they try to lay down the quickest lap times they possibly can. They are allowed to draft. They are allowed to pit. During this qualifying session, they can do whatever means necessary to try to get that fast lap time that they need. Of course, no intentional crashing or trying to sabotage another driver's run. Now, stay with us, folks. You are going to see a couple of black screens here just for a couple of minutes while we do invite these drivers in, and we will be right back with you in just a matter of moments. And we are getting a report that there are a number of drivers electing to start at the tail of the field for the Daytona Beach 500, but in fact there's so many of them that they're really not going to be starting at the very back. Well, a couple of them I suppose will, but really it's kind of the luck of the draw in that one. So many of these drivers electing to start near the back of the field and try to stay out of harm's way. It's a long race here tonight for the 5th annual NASCAR Platinum Cup Series Daytona Beach 500 here on NASCAR Heat 5. It's a 40-car entry list, and we're looking to have a 30-plus car race here tonight to crown your 5th consecutive calendar year Daytona Beach 500 champion. Last year it was a thrilling finish. Brett Baker was able to hold off Matt Smith, the two-time NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion, to win his first ever NASCAR Platinum Cup Series Daytona Beach 500. And folks, honestly, Matt Smith, the only crown jewel race he has not won is this Daytona Beach 500. So he's really going to be coming out strong out of the gate, I'm sure, trying to establish himself up there near the front with good track position and try to stay up there all race long. There are a number of ways where you can ruin your race and ruin your chances of winning this event, and many of these drivers are going to come in here with different strategies to try everything they can to avoid just that. Some will drop to the back, some will try everything possible to stay up at the front and hope that the chaos unfolds behind them instead. Qualifying is underway. 26 drivers in the qualifying session. 25 of them will be racing. There you'll see Alan Richardson just in front of us. See now he's not going to get a very good qualifying lap. Something happened to a couple of cars near the beginning of this, and that resulted in him losing the draft. And now you see a couple of more losing the draft here. One on their lid on the back straightaway, and some of these drivers will not be winning the pole award for this one. It's going to be a wild race here tonight. We expect a little bit of everything. We expect maybe a rash of cautions in the beginning, and we expect some long runs near the end. We do think we're going to have a green flag cycle of pit stops in the final stage, and that always shakes things up. You never come out of the pits during a green flag cycle of pit stops at Daytona or Talladega for that matter, bunched up with everybody that you went in with. It never happens perfectly. You always lose at least one or two drivers. So it's really going to make or break a lot of these drivers' race late in the going. Now, I am the host, NOSSCAR CEO, Tyler McMurder, and I was very fortunate to win the 2019 Daytona Beach 500 event. I was able to pass my good buddy Josh Colombiez coming to the white flag and held him off. And yours truly will not be competing here tonight, and I will be bringing you live commentary and live flag-to-flag coverage of today's event. Everybody's been very excited about this. Many of the drivers have been posting on their Facebook pages. Many of them do have a driver profile Facebook page that you can find and follow.
Outside.
And that does it for the qualifying session. We will see the results here shortly. And the results that you do see on your screen do not reflect what the qualifying order will look like. That is simply the results for the race order, the race finish results, but really we're looking at lap times in this one. Star-studded field here tonight. The real-life Daytona 500 has really become something special. The track was built back in 1957. It opened in 1959. And eventually they introduced the restrictor plates after the cars got faster and faster, and eventually Buddy Baker was able to clock in over 200 miles an hour for the first time. And once they introduced the restrictor plate, it really evened the playing field for the drivers. The draft was introduced, slingshot engaged became a thing, the big one became a thing, and calamity trying to enter pit road under green became a thing as well. No longer were the cars spread out and separated, and they were all grouped together, battling in a draft in a pack throughout the entire race for the most part, and everybody had a shot for the win. Tonight here, folks, for the NASCAR Daytona Beach 500, it will be no different. We have a lot of hungry drivers, some new, some have been here since NASCAR 15 Victory Edition, back when we started in June of 2017. We have a little bit of everyone here. New, old. We have drivers from Canada, the United States, and France all participating in tonight's NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series Daytona Beach 500. Folks, we're going to have a black screen here for just a moment. We're going to quickly send a few more invites, make sure everybody is completely prepared for this one. Send a couple of messages, and then we will get the show on the road. And it is time to turn them loose, folks. The clock is counting down, and we are getting set to see the green flag in the air here for the 2022 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series Daytona Beach 500, live on NASCAR Heat 5 on the NASCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. Hit the like and subscribe button. Give the video a thumbs up for us if you enjoy today's race. And make sure you stick around for the end when we see who parks it in victory lane. Honestly, there's a number of cars, a number of drivers that really stand out in tonight's starting grid that have a lot of experience here on these super speedways. And honestly, there's a few that stand out that are always there at the end with a shot at the win. And sometimes it pans out, sometimes it doesn't. There's going to be many factors in deciding tonight's winner. It's going to be all about the draft primarily. It's going to be all about track position in the late stages of the race. I don't think it's going to necessarily matter in the beginning. I think in the beginning you just want to keep your car clean, keep no damage on that thing. If you can stay in the draft with the leader, that's great. But if you lose the draft with the lead pack, honestly, especially in the early laps in this one, I really don't think it's going to matter that much. 100-lap event, I think, or earlier I said it was an 80-lap event, and I was mistaken. We are going for 100 laps here tonight at Daytona International Speedway on the NASCAR Heat 5 game. And there's plenty of time for these drivers to charge back up to the front and challenge for the lead, and plenty of time for a caution to come out as well. And they know of a couple of guaranteed cautions in this one. We do have stages in this race. Stage 1, I believe, is 22 laps in length. Stage 2 is either 19 or 20. I checked on this just a couple of days ago. And the final stage, they're in it for the long haul, and that's when we will see a green flag cycle of pit stops if they go green for the entire way. Without further ado, we're going to go trackside, bring you flag-to-flag coverage of the 5th Annual Platinum Cup Daytona Beach 500. And on the pole for tonight's Daytona Beach 500, it's the kid, Jesse Carlson, in the number 6 Ford Mustang. And coming off a strong season in the NOSSCAR Motormaster Series this year. He was runner-up in the Truck Series point standings, final standings on Tuesday nights as well. So really, he's been on fire all around with his NASCAR Heat 5 program. And he's looking to kick off the 2022 Platinum Cup Series season on a high note, and he really already has. Winning the pole for the Daytona Beach 500 is a huge accomplishment, something that a lot of drivers would love to be able to do and say that they have done. The green flag has been shown. We are racing here at Daytona. And it's Trey Hollywood in the number 48 Chevy Camaro on the outside line leading that group, and he's got a teammate up there. It's Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9. Behind him, it's the 3 car. There was contact there. He went down into the 24 of Aaron Garcia. New ride for Aaron Garcia in the 24 and Trey Hollywood in the 48 this year. Two-time NOSSCAR World Champion from Gran Turismo Sport. That is Trenton Krentz in the number 20 Toyota Camry. And that is for Juicy J Motorsports. Juicy J, of course, in the 18 car, just behind them in 4th place. They run 3rd and 4th, looking pretty strong early in the going, just kind of riding. And my prediction was pretty correct. It looked like it was going to be mostly about the bottom on the starts and on the restarts. Oh, that was a wild backstretch there. I believe that it was Ayrton Frederick in the number 5 car that went flying through the grass, came back up onto the track. He only came back up onto the track because he knew he could without making contact. He had already let so many cars go by. Man, that was wild. All of these drivers, for the most part, keep it going with no major damage, and we stay green. And problems with the number 88 machine, and that is Cameron Norton. Came into this race with high hopes of winning the Daytona Beach 500, and it's going to spark a crash over in turns 1 and 2, and it definitely began with the driver of the 88. That is a shame. There's a number of cars that are going to need to come down pit road and see if they can make some repairs to these machines. Jesse Carlson leading the race, qualified on the pole, showing that track position truly matters here at Daytona. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. is up to 3rd. And it's the 2021 NASCAR Dirt Touring Series champion, that is Tanner Swaley, found a ride for Rockstar Racing and then purchased the team. So now he owns Rockstar Racing and having a strong start here to the 5th annual Platinum Cup Daytona Beach 500. Currently scored 5th, but anything can happen from this point to the checkered flag. We're working stage 1. And we're about to go back under green flag conditions. Jesse Carlson and Aaron Garcia on the front row for this restart. It's Blair Roussel out of Canada and the number 10 Ford down on the inside, giving a heck of a push to Jesse Carlson. He's got help. He's got Jeffrey Robinson Jr. right behind him, and then Jordan Roughton in the 2 car. He's going to clear Aaron Garcia for the 4th place position, and they're still 2 by 2 from about the 6th place position on back, and there was problems with 2 cars deep in the field. The 11 car was one of them, but I believe we are still... No, we are under caution again, and it's for the 2-car incident deep in the field, and I'm almost surprised, actually, that they threw a yellow for that one. And it was King G in the 43 car involved, and it was Emily in the number 11 Toyota Camry from Juicy J Motorsports. She got a piece of that as well. So they're going to need to come to pit road to make repairs. Checking over a couple of other cars that were in the vicinity of that one, and they don't appear to have any damage. Well, I predicted a few things during the pre-race show. I did predict the inside line being best for the the restarts and the start, and I also predicted a bit of a crazy start to the race, and it's kind of appearing what we have. We are green again. A pair of Fords lead them into turn 1. I really think these guys need to settle it down a little bit. So many laps to go. No need to make it 2, 3, 4 wide at this point. Kind of just hold your line and just kind of ride at this point. If you're in the draft with the leader, you've got a shot. I don't care if you're in 3rd or if you're in 23rd. If you're in the same pack as the leader, you're likely under a 1.5 seconds behind them, and you've got a chance to win this thing still. Oh, the 17, that was Alex Tesdall. He got forced underneath the yellow line, came back up onto the racetrack with no problems. That was in about the 9th place position area. 34 car just went up and bounced off the wall. That's Rush Downing. And there's a couple more cars around there making contact. There goes the 2-time world champ Trenton Krentz through the grass. A controlled slide, if you will. And he comes back up onto the racetrack and just barely and narrowly gets missed by the entire group. And we stay green. Timmy Brown off to a great start in this race. He's been in the top 10 for most of it so far for Juicy J Motorsports. New ride for him here for the 2022 Platinum Cup season. Remember, folks, he won the inaugural Brickyard 200 for the NASCAR Motormaster Series back in 2018. Sorry, I just mentioned that. And that was back on NASCAR Heat 2. He's been here quite some time and quite the grizzled veteran at this point. Top 5 finishes in many different series on many different gaming platforms. He also races full-time in the NASCAR Outlaw Series on Wreckfest. Up front, still Jesse Carlson leading here. I would believe he's led every lap since the drop of the green flag. There might have been a time when a car edged him on the outside, but I really don't think so. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. behind him in second. Aaron Garcia running in third. Jordan Roughton running in fourth. And it's the three of Tanner Swaley running in fifth. Alex Tesdall, Ayrton Frederick, Trey Hollywood, sixth, seventh, and eighth. The 62 car is Chris Ryan, longtime NASCAR driver. He's run with us on Gran Turismo Sport and the NASCAR Heat games. He has wins here in the NASCAR Motormaster Series and Tailgate Truck Series on NASCAR Heat games. Looking for a Platinum Cup win here today, and it would be a big one, folks. This is definitely an event everybody dreams of winning in the world of sim racing and real racing. It's the Mecca. It's the grand stage. It's like going to Madison Square Garden for a game. And Tanner Swaley got shoved out of line a little bit there. I don't think there was contact, but I guess I just mean he lost his place there. And now Josh Colm Diaz is going to be nice enough to let him in line in between he and the 62 of Chris Ryan. Just behind Josh in the 9 car, you see the blue 47, and that is driven by your two-time NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion, Matt Smith. See if we can find him here. Oh, and as I was looking, we got a crash here between the 62, the 47, and a few others. They were actually just up there battling for the lead. The 24 car of Aaron Garcia is stopped over in turns 3 and 4 with heavy right side damage. And we're going to have a caution. This all started near the front of the field, and this is definitely going to help any driver that lost the draft with the lead group. Though I honestly think the safest place might be in a second group. We talked about that a little bit during the pre-race show. Some of these drivers might go and just kind of cruise around in a second group, maybe try to make a few friends and team up and run a second group. Stay away from the chaos, and we've seen a few drivers do that. And then anybody that does lose the draft with the lead group, they end up going back and joining them, and that pack becomes even stronger. And the green flag is back in the air. Jesse Carlson and Jeffrey Robinson Jr., two NASCAR veterans, leading them into turn 1. Pardon me. Under yellow again, I'm reviewing a couple of notes here, and I didn't see exactly what sparked this one. We're going to go through the field, and we see that Harold Burden is back here with heavy damage to the number 16 Chevy Camaro, and a few other cars just in front of him with damage as well. Cameron Norton, Emily Sari, and a few others. And tough break for Harold. Definitely not the way he thought his Daytona Beach 500 was going to begin. Strong season for him in the Motormaster Series with 2 wins, and a strong season in the Truck Series, finishing 3rd in the final standings in trucks on Tuesdays with 1 win. And came into this race with high hopes. And earlier today, Cameron Norton in the 88 car, he actually messaged me and asked me who I thought some of the heavy hitters would be. Harold Burden was the first name I said. Green flag is back in the air here at Daytona. And I can verify that, Harold, if you end up going back and watching this, buddy. You were one of my picks to one of my drivers to watch. And that is exactly what 28 cars rocking and rolling around Daytona International Speedway on NASCAR Heat 5 looks like, folks. They are putting on a show. Oh, they're 4 wide, a little bit behind the top 10, I would say here. 13 went up into the outside wall, and good on him to stay up there instead of trying to come back down in front of traffic and stay in the draft, because that always causes a wreck. And unfortunately, he's going to lose the draft, but he did the right thing. And talking about Monty Delp, folks, Monty Motorsports, longtime sim racer, began back on NASCAR 15 League Racing as I did, and it's kind of our bond that we share, and we welcomed him back into NOSSCAR with open arms. And you can see some moves being made here by some of these drivers that are up here inside the top 15. That was Blair Roussel. It looked like he was going to go with Matt Smith on the outside. Thought better of it. Now he's lifting, letting Matt back in line, and he's going to keep on rolling here on the inside line. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 got kicked to the outside. He's going to tuck in behind Blair. And it seems like the inside line is the preferred lane at this point. Seems to be the place to be, and now here comes the 21 car with a full head of steam. That's Kyle Bray making his Platinum Cup Series debut, and he's got a strong run there on the outside. Oh, and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. crashes, but it was from contact with the 43 of King G, and that sparked a big one over there. King G has actually been involved in a few of these, and we've got another yellow on the racetrack. Matt Smith in the 47, the 2-time Platinum Cup champ. He was involved in that one, getting a report that this might have been, oh, never mind, folks, separate report. We got a report that the leader has been lagging a little bit on a few different people's screens. He's led almost every lap in this race. Gordon Roughton is up to second. Trey Hollywood scored in third. Now, see, we sort of expected this. There's a lot of drivers that are new to the NASCAR Heat 5 game in here. Maybe not necessarily a lot of them. I'd say there's about 4 or 5 of them that are mixed in with a lot of drivers that really know what they're doing. And sometimes here we're seeing quite the incidents on the racetrack to kick off the race. Sorry, I got tongue-tied there. There's a whole group of cars lifting on the restart here, and it looks like they're going to begin to start a whole different group here. Now it looks like they're going to play it safe, and it's going to be led, it looks like, by King G, Timmy Brown, and Josh Colm-Diaz, the 38 car. Rush Downing was swerving a lot over there in turns 1 and 2. He bounced off a couple of cars. And we've got problems up here just outside of the top 10. Blair Roussel in the 10, the 24 of Aaron Garcia, the 88 of Cameron Norton. They were involved in that one a little bit. All of these drivers still have drafting partners, so we are still rolling. No, we are not. We are stopping again. There is a car spun we're hearing over in turns 3 and 4. It's a yellow car, and it's the 34 machine. It's driven by Rush Downing, my fault. The 38 and the 34 have been really confusing me tonight. So we have another caution on the racetrack. And right now we still have, I was going to say we still have Jesse Carlson leading, but there might have been a lead change there on that most recent run. And Trey Hollywood's number 48 Chevy Camaro is, at this current moment, out front. I'm just not sure if he's currently scored your race leader on the leaderboard. No, he isn't, and I believe there was some pit stops made. King G and Chris Ryan are going to restart on the front row. And green flag is back in the air. Oh, the 32 car swerve. The 3 car had nowhere to go. We've got a crash behind him. The 5 car was involved in that one, and this is starting to get a little bit... yeah, this is getting really out of hand. See, I did predict a wild start to this race, but I really did think that we were going to figure it out and have a nice, clean run towards the end of Stage 1, maybe even Stage 2, and it's really not looking that way so far. We have another caution here for the Daytona Beach 500. And many of these drivers that are up here at the front just trying to log laps and keep it clean are more than likely beginning to get frustrated. Jesse Carlson, Trey Hollywood, Chris Ryan, the 3 of Tanner Swaley. Some of these drivers have been up here at the front all race long and have not been causing any problems. And some cars near the back have been really swerving, really racing aggressive, making it 2, 3, 4 wide and making moves that you really shouldn't be before we are even at the 1/3 of the race mark. And let's rack them up again and try it again. We're rolling 2x2. Green flag is back in the air. King G, Chris Ryan, they lead them into turn 1. And we'll see how we go. And this might be the best I've seen the outside line on a restart. It's still right up there in about the 3rd car on the inside. It's got a chance, this outside group. Jesse Carlson leads it. Tanner Swaley giving him a push. And it's Trenton Krentz in the 20 car behind him trying to help out. But now the 62 of Chris Ryan pulls out, and now he's the top, the front car on the outside line. Moves are being made, trying to take the lead here at Daytona. Oh man, see, they're 3 wide in turns 1 and 2 there, and it's just not necessary early in this race like that. The 14, the 3, and there was one other car involved in that 3 wide skirmish. The 32, I believe, it fizzled back out, bobbled back out to 2 wide, 2x2 from about 11th on back. And the top 8 or 9, single file, nose to tail. They see the big picture here. They're going for it for the long haul. And problems there for Aaron Garcia in the 24. The blue and orange Chevy Camaro. He lost control, went up into the outside line and lost a number of positions. We've got a crash deeper in the field. Ayrton Frederick is involved again. And we're going to have a caution for this one, I'm sure. Timmy Brown, Emily Seri. There's a number of cars back here with heavy damage. And we're going to stop these cars again. Well, we're going to try him again. Trey Hollywood in the 48. Blair Roussel in the number 10. On the front row for this restart. The 14 car, Beam SKP, up there in the 4th place position. Driver out of France, and he's having an eventful Daytona Beach 500 to say the least. He's right there with a shot to take the lead. He's now the lead car on the outside line as Blair Roussel ducks to the bottom to get in behind Trey Hollywood. And similar story here. The inside line prevails. 2 or 3, maybe 4 cars jump out in front, and all the cars on the outside line do their very best to find a hole and get down to that bottom line. Oh, and contact was made there. Somebody made a 3-wide move. The 77 of Jarvis Jocks, I believe, was the driver who did it. And it resulted in a huge crash over coming out of turn 4. And it is Trey Hollywood in the number 48 Chevy Camaro leading the way, the 3-car, the 2021 Dirt Champ, that is. Tanner Swaley, he's in second place, but he's going to lose it now to Trenton Krentz in the 20, as Tanner Swaley got shuffled out to the outside line and put Trenton Krentz up into second place. It's the highest he's run all race long. It's going to be on the front row for the restart. And single file we go for the most part here. Easy does it, it seems. And now the only car that has stepped out of line is Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 18. He had Kenny Brown, his teammate, up there on the high line, and they were trying to make things work, and that was just a little bit outside the top 10. But for the most part, everybody minding their P's and Q's and running single file at this point. And everybody chasing the race leader, and that is Trey Hollywood, driver of the number 48 Chevy Camaro. Brand new ride for him this season. In fact, many of the drivers up there in the top 7 sporting new paint here in a new team this year. Two-time NASCAR World Champion Trenton Krentz for Juicy J Motorsports runs in second. Beam SKP, the driver out of France, running in third. Both have had very clean races, for the most part incident-free. Matt Smith in the 47 car has been caught up in a couple, but not of his starting or his doing. He scored in fourth there. We're riding with him for the most part here. He's the two-time Platinum Cup Series champion. Just behind him, the Canadian driver Blair Roussel in the number 10 Ford Mustang. Looking pretty strong here, running in fifth. And it's the 32 car running in sixth. And that was one that was really getting away from me here for the most part in this one. And it's Brandon Brown having a good run. And he's been up there in the top 10 for the most part all race long. He's been involved in a lot of these wrecks, but he's learning as he goes. Very little experience here for him on the NASCAR Heat 5 game, but looking pretty good right now. Running P6. Aaron Garcia just behind him. Aaron in the 24 car, and of course everyone knows he's the 2022 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series champion. And looking to keep that momentum strong heading in here to the 5th annual NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series season. Round 1 of 38 here tonight. The Daytona Beach 500. 40 drivers were on the entry list, and 28 of them came out to play. And we've got a few cars that have lost the draft with the lead group, but for the most part, almost everyone that is on the lead lap still is in this group. There is about 18, 19 cars here with a shot to go up there and take the lead still. I've said this for a long time. If you're in the draft with the leader, you have a shot, folks. He's not going anywhere as long as you have the draft and you're with him, and you have a chance. Couple of cars dancing around, slicing and dicing, feeling it out, it looks like. And a few of them were peeking out of line to see if anybody else would. And I think that they got their answer, got a little spooked, and then they got back down to the bottom. And now we saw, a moment ago, Cameron Norton got a little bit loose coming out of turn 2. And he's going to have to give up a couple of positions and merge back onto the racetrack in that car. He does. And now sits just barely outside of the top 10. The next car that's going to need to try to find a hole back on the inside line is right here, Brandon Brown in the 32 Ford Mustang, and he forced it in, and he actually got into the 88 car, and that sparked a 2-car wreck. I don't know if it's going to bring out a caution or not, and it is. The cars are woeing up now as they go into turn 1. And that was a healthier run. A little bit better. We are going in the right direction here, and it's been quite the battle up here for the lead up until this run. And I think that everybody's got the point here. Everyone needs to tone it down a little bit, and we're actually getting word that that was the end of stage 1, and that is the reason for the caution, and therefore your stage 1 winner is Trey Hollywood in the number 48 Chevy Camaro. Congratulations to him. He wins the very first stage of the 2022 NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series season. And thank you very much to our in-race reporters for getting that information to us. The green flag is out, and we are rocking and rolling here for stage number 2. It's a long one. It's all about endurance. See, folks, the Tailgate Truck Series races, 100% distance they might be, but they still are shorter events typically. The NASCAR Motormaster Series, 50% distance. Those Xfinity races, they are quite short. Sometimes they can be 45, 50 minutes. These races here for the Platinum Cup Series, they are long, they are grueling, they are challenging, and especially for the drivers that are on a wheel and pedals, it'll wear you out, some of these racetracks. And they really got strung out for this restart. Very smart. And now the drivers running third, fourth, fifth on back. They are trying to make a charge towards the top three. The top three got a great restart, and they got out front. Now Trenton Krentz is backing up to this second group. He would maybe rather be the lead group in the charging pack coming instead of the back car in the sitting duck trio. And now here they come. Matt Smith is the leader. Beam is in second. And Trenton Krentz is leading that second group right to him. Let's see if he makes a move. He's there now. Oh, he caught him at a weird time. He caught him in the middle of 3 and 4. I think if he made a move to the outside, he maybe would have lost all momentum and lost all track position as well. So maybe a smart move to just tuck in line. Jimmy Brown's in this group in the number 19. Toyota for Juicy J Motorsports. Got the 21 of Kyle Bray just behind him. 32 of Brandon Brown in this lead group, and that's King G in the 43, Jordan Roughton in the 2, Alex Tesdall in the 17, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 18, Tanner Swaley in the 3, Josh Cole Diaz up there in the top 5 in the 9 car. They're all in this lead group, and they have a shot to go up and take the lead anytime they want. The second group is being led by Harold Burden in the number 16 Chevy Camaro. Here's what that group looks like, and it's really it's about the same size, equal size to the lead group. And I think that this might be the right way to go, folks. This group doesn't necessarily need to focus on going out there, wearing out their tires, using up more fuel, trying to make moves and look to take the race lead. They can kind of tiptoe, go at their own pace, and then push hard towards the end, make up that ground, hopefully, and go on up there and challenge for the lead. And folks, if that second group does catch them, they're going to catch them with a head of steam. And if they go to the outside, who knows, they might freight train right on by. Well, I hate to say I told you so, but a couple of predictions I mentioned came to light here. We had a wild, rocky start to this race, and I did expect that. I just didn't expect it to last pretty much the entirety of Stage 1. Seems like we are over that. These drivers have learned and realized that this race is a long race, and there really is no need to race 2, 3, 4 wide this early in the going, and now we see a much more calm tone to this race, with Matt Smith leading, Beam in second, Trenton Krentz in third, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in fourth, Jordan Roughton in fifth, it's Alex Tesdall in the 17 car right there in sixth, King G in seventh, Kyle Bray in eighth, the 32 car, Brandon Brown is in ninth, rounding out the top 10, Trey Hollywood, your Stage 1 winner in the 48 machine. Actually, Tanner Swaley, the 2021 Dirt champion, just took that position away from Trey. And actually, they might be in danger of losing the draft with the lead group. We're going to see if we can find them. Here they are. It's Brandon Brown, Tanner Swaley, Trey Hollywood, and Josh Cole Diaz. These 4 cars kind of lost touch with the lead group. But the good news for them is they're going to fall back into the hands of the group being led by Harold Burden and Ayrton Frederick and others. And once they get to them, their line of cars is going to be even faster, and it's going to have more cars in it too. They should be able to run down the race leaders if those 2 groups can get hooked up. Here's the third group. As I mentioned, Harold Burden, Aaron Garcia, Chris Ryan, Cameron Norton, the front 4 cars of this group. You're looking at them. Timmy Brown in the 19, Jarvis Jacques in the 77 car. Great to see him come back. He won races back in the 2018 NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series season on NASCAR Heat 2. Since then, we haven't seen him. He's been a busy man, and now he's back full-time here in the NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series. He's never run any of these races with us, and here he is, Daytona Beach 500. He's in this third group, and just at the end of it. Speaking of Truck Series wins, Beam SKP, the driver out of France, last season in the Tailgate Truck Series, won 2 races, advanced all the way to the Final Four, had a shot at the championship, came up short. Now he's making his very first start here, or excuse me, I shouldn't say that, his very first full-time season here in the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series for 2022. He's very excited about it, partnering up in the Ford, number 14 Blue Death Ford Mustang for Steel Force Motorsports. Very excited about the opportunity. Putting it to good use. So far he's running in second. He's doing all the right things in this race too. A lot of these crashes that we saw earlier in the race, we didn't see the 14 car cause any of them. And Brandon Brown in the 32 car on pit road for service. And that's kind of an unscheduled pit stop. These drivers were on pit road at the end of stage 1 not too long ago. And this was the battle I was looking for here. The second and third groups have merged like I thought that they would. And it's Tanner Swaley leading the charge. Getting a push from Aaron Garcia, and now Aaron got to the inside of him as they go into turn 1. It kind of looked like the 3 car of Tanner Swaley bobbled a little bit, gave up the bottom groove, and Aaron pounced. He was close enough and got his nose in there before Tanner could get back to the inside and hug the yellow line again. Now, I knew that these groups would merge, but I thought that it would be bigger. We see that a few cars have lost touch with this group, and because of that, the group is no longer the same size as it was before. I'm not sure if they're going to have enough steam to run down the lead pack or not, but it's only because Ayrton Frederick and Jarvis Jocks and I think 2 or 3 other cars lost the draft with this group that we're watching here. And that really might make it difficult for them to run down the race leaders. There you see Brandon Brown in the 32 car back onto the racetrack after coming down pit road for service, and he's trying to block this line of cars, and that's a no-no. Oh man, he finally gives way, and he's going to go up to the outside line. He's going to try to tuck in behind the number 3 car, Tanner Swaley, who is the back car in this charge. We're all still chasing Matt Smith, driver of the number 47 Chevy Camaro, 2-time NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion, and this year's NASCAR Motormaster Series champion in the Xfinity cars. No one's led more laps here today in the Daytona Beach 500 than Jesse Carlson in the 6 and Matt Smith in the 47. We're going to take a break from commentary, and we're going to crank it up, folks. We got a volume knob nearby. Turn it sky high, and we will meet back here, bring you back full commentary, and keep on going with the flag-to-flag coverage of the 5th annual NASCAR Platinum Cup Series Daytona Beach 500. The checkered flag is in the air. Give it up for Beam SKP, the driver of the number 14 Ford Mustang. He parks it in victory lane. Very first NASCAR Platinum Cup Series race win. And it comes here for the Daytona Beach 500, the 5th annual Daytona Beach 500 here for the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series. And it was a wild and eventful race. We saw a little bit of everything. A lot of short runs and a rash of cautions in the beginning, and then we went green for quite some time. We saw a green flag cycle of pit stops there in the final stage. We saw them all split up and break up, and I knew that if the second group and the third group could get hooked up together, they might be able to run down the lead group. The problem was, in the process, a few drivers lost the draft with those guys, and the group was smaller once the second and third group finally found each other. And then the cycle of green flag pit stops began, and it really shuffled up a lot more. So it's just, it was a catch-22, and it became all about track position in a very long and grueling run in the final stage of this one. And at the end of it all, driver of the number 14 Ford Mustang for Steel Horse Motorsports, Beam SKP, parks it in victory lane and becomes the first ever French-born driver to win a NASCAR Platinum Cup Series race. parked it in victory lane 2 times in the Truck Series in the 2021 season in the number 16 Toyota Tundra, and now comes into this race and puts on a racing clinic. Really, he did not get involved in very many incidents here tonight. Some contact was made in a few of them for him, but they were ultimately not of his causing. Kept it clean out there and parked it in victory lane. And folks, I would like to thank the viewers for joining us and tuning in for the 5th annual NASCAR Platinum Cup Series Daytona Beach 500 here on NASCAR Heat 5. It's been an honor and it's been a pleasure to bring you the flag-to-flag coverage. And we had a bit of a technical error there through the midway point of the race. And hopefully we had it all, hopefully we can have all of this sorted out for the next couple of rounds here in the 2022 season. We hope you enjoyed the show. It was a wild one. 28 drivers started this race, took the green flag for lap 1, and when it was all said and done, there was about 7 or 8 cars left on the lead lap with a shot to win. That includes Matt Smith, that includes Jeffrey Robinson Jr. and a few others, but it was Beam SKP parking in a victory lane for the first time here in the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to his race team. We thank you all again for joining us, and we will see you next Friday.